So let's take a close-up look at the current model Hi-Point JCP 40. And this is pretty much, from what I can gather, this is what's available to the public these days. And Hi-Point handguns, they're 9mm 40, 45, and they're 380. They haven't changed much over the years since they've taken their current form, but there are some small changes that I have noticed. And for those that own the Hi-Points, you may have noticed this as well. All this video is just kind of giving an up-close look at what a current Hi-Point 40 looks like. For those of you that are trying to buy one, or you're debating on whether or not you're going to buy one, this might be a good video for you. So starting right here, here's the ejection port. There's some relief cuts right here. And from what I understand, looking at older pictures, this was not there. So I don't know what prompted them to do this. Maybe they just wanted to do it for looks or whatnot. But there's relief cuts here in the back. And then a little bit right here. They took a little bit out. I don't know if it's just a slight change in the manufacturing process that causes that. But, you know, and I don't know what their motivation behind it was. If they thought maybe if they relieved a little bit of material, it might aid in ejection. I don't know. But anyway, that's one small change right there, is the ejection port. Looking up to the muzzle, everything else is pretty much the same. The muzzle, your little proprietary rail. That's a gripe that I have with Hi-Point. I wish they would get rid of this and just throw a standard Picatinny style rail on there. And I know it would cost money to change their molding process, but I think that would be a great thing if they could do that to their guns. But I guess they have their reasons for keeping it proprietary. There's the back. Nothing really has changed there. Going up to the sights, that's pretty much the same. Also, on this side of the slide, it's pretty much same old that you've seen. The safety, of course, same thing, and no changes there. The trigger has been updated a little bit in looks. Feel is pretty much the same. I mean, it's just kind of a, I don't know how to describe a Hi-Point trigger. It's just a cheap feeling trigger, but it works. It's usable. But they did put some more surface area on the trigger and some serrations right here and change the looks a little bit. Either they did it just for looks or for feel. I don't know. It still feels like a Hi-Point trigger. So it is what it is on that end. The grips here have some texturing on it from the factory. The grips are still pretty smooth, but they don't feel quite as bad as the older ones. I'm still debating on whether or not I would want to stipple these in the future, or if I just want to look and get some different grips online and just keep these and just replace them completely. I don't know yet. But the grips are a noticeable change that you'll see if you're out there comparing these models. Now, this one I purchased from a pawn shop. And you can see right there, maybe I can get my camera to zoom in a little bit. There we go. This feed ramp has been polished. Now, that's one thing I'm going to ask you guys and gals that own these and just bought them. Are the feed ramps polished from the factory or not? Again, this was used to me. This is a new model Hi-Point, but I bought it used. So I don't know if the person before me went ahead and did this. This is a common modification that a lot of Hi-Point owners do. So I don't know. If they are doing it from the factory at this point, then that's a good thing on them. But everything else is pretty much fit and finish, is kind of the same old. The extractor right here, I do notice it has a reverse cut inside of it, which is a good thing for extraction. I can't remember for the life of me if the old ones had the reverse cut on the extractor or not. That little reverse angle that aids in extraction. So maybe one of you can help me out with that if you have an older model, one of the original models or whatnot. I'm just curious if the original ones had that cut as well. But everything else pretty much the same. The rifling is still the same inside the gun. Looks like they hadn't changed anything on that. Function, everything, the magazines. The older magazines had those, for the 40 cals, had the old orange followers. These are now green, and they seem to work just fine. But other than that, everything else is pretty much the same. But, I mean, there it is. For me, $90 gun. That's pretty much what I'm getting for a $90 gun. So, more videos in the future. I'm going to take this out, have some fun with it. But just wanted to show you guys and gals just some minor deals. The takedown is still the same. Nothing's really changed with High Point. High Point is kind of like Glock. They really don't change anything, and why would they? High Point, I think, is in the market to just provide a basic gun that tends to go bang at least most of the time, and they're not really worried about looks. All right, with that said, enough of me rambling. Thanks for watching. Feel free to provide any of your input in on this video, whether you love or hate these things, if you have one, if you've noticed any changes, all that good stuff. All right, thanks a lot for watching.